Adding and subtracting mixed numbers using number chips and models. This is a digital lesson, and it starts out just explaining what a mixed number is. It's a whole number and a fraction less than 1 represented together. So we're going to start with some models so students can see this conceptually. Here I have 2½ pieces here. I'm adding that to 1 1/4. So I can add the whole pieces together, these whole numbers. 2 plus 1, it gives me 3 whole numbers. And then I've got a half plus a fourth, and that'll give me 3/4. Then we got 3 1/4 plus 1 1/4. And students are going to move these themselves. So these are movable pieces. They want to add them together. We're going to add the big pieces first. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4 big pieces. And then the smaller pieces, I can put them together and make 1/2. So I get an answer of 4 1/2, and they just type that in. Next slide, same thing. They've got movable pieces. Here they've got 4 plus 1, so they're going to be 5 larger pieces. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they've got, let's take 2 of these smaller pieces, and we're going to add them with this 1/2 piece. That's going to make another whole. And then we're just left with 1/4. So we end up with an answer of 6 1/4. Same thing on the next slide. And then they've got a subtraction problem. Now we're going to go into the number chips. Now the number chips, the students are going to be moving these numbers into place to show their addition or subtraction. Every slide has every number the students need. So if they get to the end of the slide and the numbers aren't working, they know they've made an error somewhere and they need to go back and check. So in that way, it's self-checking. The other way it's self-checking is that they're going to solve a riddle on the very last slide, and they're going to match their answer to a letter. So let's just start with moving the number chips. Here, if I add the whole numbers together, 5 plus 4, I get 9. And 1/4 plus 2/4 gives me 3/4. And again, they're going to use every number, so that should help them if they struggle a little bit. Now we've got 7 3/8 and 2 1/8. That gives us 9. And here's a little hint here to simplify. If I add 3/8 to 1/8, I get 4/8, which I can simplify to 1/2. So I get 9 1/2. They got a couple subtraction problems on the next slide. Now here they're going to be changing their fraction to a fraction with common denominators. So I've got 3 3/5 plus 4 1/10. Well, I want to change this fraction to tenths, and that way I can add them together. So here, if I multiply the denominator by 2, I have to also multiply the numerator by 2. And they just click and hold on the edge of these and they can move them into place. So now I'm going to add the whole numbers, 3 plus 4. I get 7. And then 6/10 plus 1/10 gives me 7/10. Now we have 2 3/8 plus 5 1/4. Well, I want to change this fraction so that it has a common denominator of 8. So 1/4, if I multiply times 2, I'm going to also multiply the numerator times 2, and I get 2/8. Now I can add the whole numbers. 2 plus 5 is 7. 3/8 plus 2/8 is 5/8. So again, if the numbers aren't working, they know that they've made an error somewhere or they need to simplify. And they've got a few more to practice. Now when they get down here, let's see, this is change your mixed numbers to single fractions. Okay, so this is another way they can add If I change this to a single fraction with no whole numbers, so it's no longer a mixed number, I'm going to take my denominator, multiply by the whole number, add the numerator. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and then my denominator stays the same. Here 4 times 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. Again, keep my denominator the same. And then I'm going to just move these down here so I can add them together. 9/4 plus 19/4. And that gives me 28/4, and I can take 28 divided by 4 and get 7. I'm going to do the same thing here with the subtraction problem. I'm going to change it to a single fraction. We used to call them improper fractions. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 4 is 13. Keep my denominator the same. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Again, keep my denominator the same. Now I'm going to move these down here. I get 13/3. Subtract 5/3. And I get 8/3. And we're going to do one more thing for our answer here, 8/3. I want to change it back to a mixed number now. So 3 goes into 8 2 times, which is 6. And then there's 2/3 left over. And now I'm going to match this answer, 2 2/3, to that letter F. Now we're on our final slide. Why did Carrie do only half of her homework? Well, we've got all of these answers, so we're going to go back through the previous slides, find each one of these answers, and then we're going to type in the letter that's in the yellow heart. And if they've done these correctly, they will solve the riddle. The very end has a challenge problem, 6 1/3 minus 4 2/3. They have a little hint here. They have to borrow some thirds from the whole number in order to subtract. So see if they can figure that out. So this is a digital lesson, adding and subtracting mixed numbers.